What's up guys, it's time to check out another custom ROM. This one's going to be RootBox, as you can see from the wallpaper. I know a lot of you wanted me to check this one out, so here it is. Now, RootBox is basically a mixture of AOKP features and CM features, so yeah, that's basically all I can say about it. It is very quick as always. It's got the stock Google kernel. If I just navigate around here, you can see there's no lag, but obviously you have to remember that I've got no apps, no extra apps on here. So yeah, I don't think it's the fastest ROM I've ever used. I think Liquid Smooth and Slim Bean are faster, but nonetheless, you're not gonna notice a lot of slowdowns at all. It's still very good. There's a hell of a lot of customization. Again, not quite as much as Pac-Man, which is absolutely ridiculous amounts, but it is a good level of customization. So a lot of people might like it. So yeah, let's get into that stuff. Now, if I dive into the settings here, you can see I've already done some stuff. I'm not going to go through every setting like I've been doing with the other ROMs because, you know, it gets a bit boring and a lot of the settings are the same as the other ROMs. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do the differences here, guys. If I just show you the settings here, you can see the quick links. You've got ROM control, which is basically taken from AOKP. You can see it actually says AOKP, and you get all those settings that you normally get. Hybrid settings, guys, this is actually kind of cool. So inbuilt, you've actually got, you know, you can change the UI mode to phone, tablet. You can blanket change everything, that is. You can also change the system density. You can change every app just by clicking it here to phablet or tablet mode if you want another blanket option. If you don't want a blanket option, guys, you have got the per app layout, which if you click down here, you can change, for example, the browser. I've changed it to 600p from 360. If I change it back to 360, go to the browser, you'll see it's just a normal browser, right? If I go back into the settings, hit browser, hit 600, go back into or close out the browser first and then go into it, you'll see it now has the tablet view. So you can change the per app settings. And I think that's a cool feature of this ROM because it's built straight into the ROM. There isn't an extra app or anything like that. I should mention, guys, I am running the latest nightly here, so there could be a few bugs in this. You can go ahead and get the stable release, but there's less features. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, let's carry on. You've also got navigation bar height and other stuff here. Underneath that, guys, you've got themes, performance control, pretty standard what they do. Underneath that, you've got RootBox, which is there's some extra settings you get. Dark RootBox is kind of a theme thing. If you turn it on, you can see the theme changes to a darker theme. That's kind of nice to have just in a quick switch. You know, if you want it to look a little bit darker, you can just switch it on. If you don't, you can switch it off. Underneath that, root toolbox settings, I'll go through those in a minute. Update center, guys, this is basically a link straight to Goo Manager. If I click into it, you can see it opens up Goo Manager once you allow the super user request, and you get your over-the-air updates for the ROM updates. So that's a cool feature to have as well. So you don't have to keep going to your computer and downloading the ROM. You can do it straight from here. Other than that, guys, you've got some stuff from CM. Like if I go into sound, you've got quiet hours. So that's a cool feature to have again. And you've got profiles as well, so you can have like a work profile, nights, what, you know, all that sort of stuff you can have. If I go a bit lower, you can see super user is built into the ROM, so you don't have to have a super user app. It just is right here. So kind of clears up your app drawer. You don't have to have a pointless app. It's built into the ROM, and that's the way it should be, in my opinion. And yeah, so you know, that was a kind of a quick run through of the settings. Let me just go into the AOKP features. Talk about these a little bit. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about them all completely, and I'm not. I just wanted to show you some of the things you can do. So you've got general UI. You can change your custom carrier labels. You can change the notification background down here. So if you don't want that to be there, notification count, status bar brightness slider, hide the status bar. You can see if you click this, status bar disappears. You will obviously lose your notifications if you do that, guys. So take that into account. You've got the transparency settings. As always, you can see what I said, but I don't want to go through them all because a lot of them is the same. Underneath that, guys, you've got enable kill all recents RAM bar. If I hit the recents, you can see I've added those already, kill all, and the recents memory usage is up there. And you've got some UI modes, enable dual panel for settings. All that sort of crap is available. You've also got lock screen customizations, guys. You can change the wallpaper, the text. You can enable all widgets. You can enable full screen widgets, and that's this thing here, minimize lock screen challenge. So what this actually is, guys, if I quickly show you, if I go to the lock screen here, you can see it's normal. The widget isn't full screen. I've got my unlock bar here. If I turn that setting that I just turned off on, you'll see what it does. And minimize lock screen challenge, there it is. We'll go out so it exits it. We'll lock the screen. unlock it, and you can see that is no longer there. The widget is now full screen. You have to click the padlock to kind of expand it, and here you go, you can unlock your device again. So yeah, that is a needed feature because, you know, dash clock looks so much better when it's expanded, in my opinion. Obviously, you've got all the other stuff here, you know, maximize widgets, allow all widgets, you know, allow lock screen rotation, volume, wake, and volume music controls. I know a lot of people love these two options. They are available here as well. Underneath that, guys, you've got the power menu. Pretty standard what this does. You know, you can hold the power menu and everything is there like normally is. Navigation bar, guys, you can add buttons, you can take buttons away, you can customize it, all that cool stuff is there. You can change the transparency, you can disable the nav button as well. We'll move on from that a little bit quicker. Status bar, guys, I'm not going to talk about at all, but basically you can do everything you normally can. You know, you can change the tiles. You can see here I've added some and made the rows. I've made them per row more, if that makes sense. And yeah, battery, clock, widget, all that stuff is customizable. You can have the circle mod, you can have the numbers, you can get rid of them if you don't want them. That's all there as well. Underneath that, guys, you've got system. Now, this LED feature here is one of my favorites on any custom ROM. You can change the LED to do whatever you want per app. So you can see I've added email here, and if you click the button here, you can make it any color you want, picking from this spectrum. Say you want it to be blue or this purple color. You can change how long it's on for. So if you want it to be on for 1 second and off for 1 second, or off for 2.2 of a second, you can actually test that. We'll turn it off, and you can see down here that it's flashing like that. You can change that to whatever the hell you want. So if you want it to be quicker and you make it go kind of nuts, test LED, you can see now it's super quick. So that is all customizable on this ROM, just like we've seen on a lot of other ROMs and a lot of other AOKP ROMs. So yeah. Sound features, guys, these are again some really cool features. Whoops, we'll just put that in the middle. These all remind me of HTC Sense features. You can see here, phone call silent. Flip your phone to silent when receiving a call. So when you're receiving a call, you look at it, you go, nah, I don't want to talk to this idiot. Flip it over and it'll go to silent. You've also got a face down action here, guys. What to do with sound when you flip your phone face down. If you click into it, you can make it vibrate or silent. So if something's going on or you quickly want to change the mode, you can flip it face down. It'll change to silent or vibrate, whatever the hell you set it to. So yeah. And underneath that, guys, you've got vibration control. So if you want to control your vibrations, I know it sounds a bit funny, but yeah, it's doable right here. I'm not going to go into this, but you can see it kind of looks a little bit complicated. I haven't actually gone into this myself, but I'm guessing that's what you can do. You know, you can change the per app vibration settings. So that's the AOKP settings part of this ROM, guys. Moving on, I showed you the hybrid settings. Like I said, it's all built in. You can change per app settings, and it's nice for it all to be here. Again, I'm not sure why navigation height is in this section, but it is, and you can change that up, and if you change it, it restarts the launcher and it'll be slightly different. In fact, we've actually got rid of it because I may have flicked it to 0. I don't know how that happened, but there you go, I did. Let's get it back on. And yeah, we'll move on. Themes, guys, the standard theme engine. Performance control, you can control the kernel. Like most ROMs, they do come with the stock Google kernel, and this one is no exception. You know, you can flash Franco or Trinity or whatever the hell you want over this if you don't like this, but you have a few options. You know, you can set the minimum lower instead of 1 gigahertz and stuff like that. You can change a few governors. You can add a few little tweaks here, change the SD card ahead, you know, all that kind of crap. Moving on and moving to the RootBox options, guys. This is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So, you know, I mentioned the dark RootBox. You can quickly change the theme if you want to, just by a quick toggle, which I like. I think it's an awesome feature to have. You know, you just want to quickly make it a darker theme. That's easily done just by a flick of a switch. Actually, guys, moving on to RootBox settings. These give you a few extra settings. You see you've got Pi controls. All the stuff you normally get with Pi is right here. You can customize the gravity, the size, the colors. Everything like that is customizable. If you want to use it, you can either get rid of the nav bar like I showed you previously by accident, but nonetheless I showed you, or you can use the power menu and turn on expanded desktop mode. Now I think I've got this from the right. So yeah, there it is. It's now from the right. Again, you can move this anywhere you want. So if you want it down here, you can do that right there. And eventually it should restart. There we go. And Pi will now be on the bottom. You can have it on the left, the right, or the top. So yeah, we'll turn that back off to make it a little bit easier. Underneath that, guys, you've got LCD density. Now, I do notice that in this ROM you do have some stuff that kind of overlaps, and this is one of them. We've seen the LCD density before in the options, so that's kind of annoying because you've got two different options. They can conflict. It can be a little bit of an issue. Low battery warning, guys. You can change to the settings here. If you don't want it to make any sound, you can turn it off. I know it annoys me when it gets to 14%, but nonetheless. CRT screen off and on animations, I've turned them both on, so we know the off animation, but if we turn it on, you can see it's like it's in reverse when we turn it on. Might interest some people nonetheless. Over here we've got some keyboard options: disable full screen keyboard, auto hide keyboard actions, volume, key, cursor controls as well. We've also got some more lock screen issues, so you can make your lock screen see-through, allow you to see your home screen behind the lock screen, including apps. So if we turn this on, let's just test this out. We'll turn it off and check it out, and you can see there we can now see the lock screen. Or you can see the home screen, sorry, under the lock screen. So say you've got a page open in your Google, you lock it up, unlock it, you can now see the app underneath your lock screen. So that might be cool for some people. Some people might enjoy that. But yeah, moving on, get back into the settings. Where are we? RootBox settings. All right, I got confused there. Go a bit lower. Lock screen targets. So if you want more targets, instead of just hitting these to all unlock, you can add certain apps, Twitter, Facebook, you know, whatever the hell you want, whatever you use the most, WhatsApp, you can have that there as well. Lock screen shortcuts. If we add a lock screen shortcut, I'll show you exactly what they are. So if we go to browser and we lock it up, you can now see at the top here we have the browser icon, so we can just click that, it'll unlock straight into the browser. So that's an option for you there, guys. Screen security, view or change the lock screen, delay and timeout settings. So this just takes you to the normal Android settings here, and you can pretty much do whatever you want to do there. Status bar and notification drawer. So breathing SMS, guys. What this actually does is you know when you get basically you get an SMS come through and it kind of stays there. If you turn on breathing SMS or breathing missed call, it kind of moves it around, and it makes you more aware that it's there, and it kind of reminds you that it's there. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's kind of a cool feature to have. All these other things, notification shortcuts, notification behavior, so you can actually have it expanded or always or old style if you don't want that. Notification shortcuts as well. You can have the some stuff in there, so you can have shortcuts to, I don't know, the browser, and they'll appear in your notifications as well. Let's move on to power widget. If you turn this on and pull this down, you can see you've got some extra toggles up here. If you don't want to use the quick settings over here, you've got them there for quick use. We'll move on because we've done that a lot. Clock. You can change what these do, weather panel, display, what units to display. It's all customizable there, guys. Moving on, guys, we've got sound over here. We've got some sound options, and we've got headset. And this, in theory, should be really cool. And it says launch music app on headset connection. So a lot like the Galaxy S3's Page Buddy, when you connect headphones, it should launch the Page Manager. If I turn this on, exit out, so it saves the settings. I haven't actually got this to work, and you'll see it just either force closes or nothing happens. And you can see nothing's happened there. So I don't know if that's just a bug for me. Maybe it's just because I'm on the lightly and there's some bugs with it. I don't know. Maybe it works on the stable version. But for me, it's not quite working. But it's a little bit disappointing because that's a really cool feature to have. And I did want to test that out. But never mind. You've got some volume adjust sounds, play sounds when adjusting volume with hard keys. And you can also swap the volume buttons. So when the screen is rotated by 90 or 180 degrees, the volume buttons are switched. So it kind of makes more sense to your brain, if that makes any sense to you right there. So they're the extra settings you get in the Root Toolbox, guys. I went through the update center with you. I'm not quite sure why these are here, the DPI and tablet settings. Now, I kind of showed you already that we have these options, and maybe it's just because it's a nightly, I'm not sure. We had these options in the hybrid settings. We have them kind of again here, and I'm not quite sure why. It's kind of the exposed installer, and you can change the per app DPI settings. If you click into it, turn them on, you get all these other settings. You can change the font and stuff like that. So yeah, that's there nonetheless. I don't know why it's there, but it is there. That's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much the Root Toolbox ROM. There are a lot of customization features, not as many as Pac-Man, but a lot more than, say, for example, I don't know, Raspberry and Jelly. The ROM isn't the fastest, nor is it the slowest. If I had to rank it, in my opinion, I would put it somewhere in the middle of the pack. I don't think it's the best ROM out there. There's a lot of kind of stuff that's happening again and again, you know, a lot of repetition with the settings, which I don't quite like myself. So I know it kind of sounds like I'm slating the wrong. I'm not. It's a very good ROM. I just don't think it's quite for me. Peace out.